is 8 o'clock and yeah, I'm going to studio. It is midnight and I am cycling home from studio because studio is open until midnight today because third years have their hand in tomorrow morning. So yeah, busy times. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Jesus. Okay.
Too good. This is too delicious.
Just go for it. Studio from another angle.
The user, I think the choice of materials are very different to the rest of the space, and the type of form it is, the height that it's addressing.
Extending the lines. Extending the lines, conversations, words, and lines. Our dialogues create boundaries and spaces, and extending a line from one space to another. These lines can be used for a different purpose, so a desk, a bench, or a shelf. They define areas and trace the lines of conversation. So to first understand the spaces in which conversations take place, I observed the transmission of information in the Cambridge Tourist Information Centre and to identify different elements of conversation such as spoken language, the people, and the surrounding spaces. And then later on from my visit to Gosh, I felt the need to respond to the sort of overwhelming amount of colour and information in the space. And this is run through this collage, which led me to want to create a simple yet convergent architectural space that will naturally draw people into it, but also create a calm and relaxing sort of atmosphere. And it is located against the glass wall here, as you can see. And afterwards, through exploring different structures and color gradients and lights, also making a model out of color instead of this stained wood model, I finally arrived at a design made out of from dark to light gradient stained wood and is made out of soft sanded timber joined together with hidden steel bolts, and is furthermore protected by these thin frosted glass exteriors to give more practice.
Between the verticals.
Yes, here. And also behind, so that.
Can you pass me just the main bit? Yeah.
So the most important features of the design include the extensions of the planes, so that these benches, desks, and shelves could be used to place leaflets, as well as have a sort of extension of a desk so that it's not too imposing, but people could come around it and be invited inside to talk to the clinicians from within. And when the doors, these swinging doors open,
Is that a big pivot door? Or
yes. So they're pivoted, and when open, they point inwards and invite the people to talk to the psychiatrist. And
is that these two?
yes.
The pivoting thing. Okay, so it's not full height, it's flat height.
And it also addresses the height of the space, as these the tallest panels are 4 meters tall, and also the back is quite across the space, so it tries to sort of focus and converge into this booth. And conversations can therefore be extended through spaces and marked off by lines, and hence extending the lines.
I think again that's another extending the lines. I think that's a really nice sculptural proposal, and it's got some artistic merit. I think, which in the space would have it would make a statement, which I think we're looking for something which will enhance the space, and I think that would definitely achieve that. And I really like this idea that you're not providing a seat. I don't know how you feel about that, but this idea that this is supposed to be a light. I think it's supposed to be a light touch interaction. It's a first contact, and you don't always want to sit down. You might want to lean. If anybody's ever been in a house with a breakfast bar, everyone gathers around the breakfast bar or the island unit in a kitchen.
Slightly less formal than a meeting,
and it might encourage conversation, which I think is really good.
Well, it's more easier to have a kind of 3-minute chat standing up or kind of at a bar rather than half an hour.
And actually, in some ways, we don't want to encourage half an hour chats. So there is something about kind of.
Well, the GPs are kind of 6 to 8 minutes or whatever per appointment. So
So I think
don't get too comfy, kind of thing.
Also, the opportunity. I think your image shows that having potentially different heights of seat and different leaning positions. So you could have an option for people to sit, but have other options for just leaning and standing.
I really like the idea of the timber and changing from the dark to the light, and I think that's something that would really stand the test of time, and that other clinicians in the hospital would know, like, what on earth have you put in the main reception?
It's quite open to interpretation in a way. It's quite an ambiguous object. It's like the internal, outsidey spaces of sort of, especially that pivoty space. It doesn't feel like a room you're going in because it feels quite sort of perforate in a way.
I think the use of the perspex, or the opaque glass between those to provide the privacy doesn't detract from that open weave appearance of the installation.
I think you get a real sense of what it would be like to be in the area from that photo, those photos,
Shoji screens, like in Japanese houses that have the sliding screens. There's transparency, interlink, maybe reception areas.
The actual inspiration from it came through from a conversation I had at the hospital about the hospital's wayfinding strategy, which is, I think, all about kind of trying to create a more kind of homogeneous and familiar and comfortable patient experience that kind of starts from the home, whether it's kind of introducing cells, also structurally strong, and each one can act independently, whether it's to allow light in or to act as a sign that's integrated into try and create something that was quite structurally expressive but kind of maximise the available space whilst creating kind of a rich, warm environment inside that was still
side of the conversation. So I created a Venn diagram of having this welcoming open space in an area for a more open, quick conversation, and then you could transition it.
And I think the other one was sort of simplicity.
Yeah, I think we like the simplicity of the design externally, yet the sort of accessibility and almost domesticity inside, like somebody's living room. So it's got, a striking external design, but it's still nice to be in.
Maybe tonight's the night to find out what it's like.
Walking home at 11:30. Night before portfolio handing, gonna work in the library instead. Yeah, so not finished with the portfolio yet. So just gonna work tonight and try to finish it. Hopefully I'll get some sleep. That's Trinity. And that's John's in front. Nearly 4 a.m. Still working in the library. Hi, so...
I just handed in my portfolio. And yeah, it's over.